Hi guys, this is Rich with Wild Wonderful Weekends, and today I wanted to tell you about a tool that you really should consider using if you're doing gig work with your drones. Now, gig work's a great way to make extra money, but if you aren't taking certain things into consideration, it may not be sustainable and you could even be losing money in the long run. The tool I'm going to show you helps you tell at a glance if a job is truly worth your time. It's super easy to use, it's customizable, and if you use the link in the description, it only costs $5. Let me show you how it works. I'll go over the layout of the tool, then I'll use a drone-based mission request to show you how it works. If you're unfamiliar with drone-based, be sure to check out my video on making money with your drone. All the fields are labeled and color-coded so it's easy to understand. The cells with color-filled backgrounds are formulas, so we don't want to type into those. They aren't locked though, in case you actually do want to modify a formula for any reason. Setting up the tool is simple. All you have to do is list the equipment you use for your drone work and their values. I'll show you why this is so important in just a bit. I've listed my Mavic Enterprise Advanced, my Phantom, my 360 camera that I use for interior work and 3D modeling, and my DSLR along with their values, including any extras I've bought for them like batteries, propellers, RTK modules, and things like that. Next, I enter how many gigs I believe I can land in a week, and for my area I can usually get 2 without much trouble. And finally, I enter the time frame I would like a return on investment for my equipment, and I'm going to say 3 years. All this is important because without taking into consideration the amount of money it takes to sustain your ability to do drone work in the first place, you can find yourself in a tight spot when inevitable expenses come up. Tech gets outdated quickly, and your equipment will need repaired or replaced altogether at some point. You have to think about how much money to put aside to cover those costs. This tool calculates that for you. And based on the information I just entered, the tool recommends that I put aside $31.41 from each mission to cover tech investments when the need arises. Okay, now that we're set up, let's take a look at a mission I received from DroneBase to see how this tool works. You can see the payout for this job is $50. It's about 18 miles from my home and is a simple commercial real estate job. So it seems like the kind of thing I ought to take on. But let's enter the info into the profit calculator and see how things shake out. I'm just going to plug information in from top to bottom in the mission, time, and expenses section. At the time this request came in, the price of gas was $3.80 a gallon. My vehicle's blended gas mileage is about 30 miles per gallon, and distance to the job was 18 miles. The tool doubles that for round trip miles in this calculated field. It's close, so I won't need lodging, so I can enter 0 or leave this field blank. Gas cost is calculated based on round trip distance, my car's mileage, and the average cost of a gallon of gas. I'm not purchasing any additional insurance for this job, so I'll enter 0 here. And it's close enough that I won't need to eat out, so this will be 0 also. According to Google Maps, the round trip drive time will be about 45 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and round that up to an hour. For planning, I'm going to enter an hour because I always like to look at my area of operations in Google Earth to help me get a feel for the terrain and potential obstacles. And this job requires link authorization because of its proximity to Yeager Airport, which means I also have to put in for an unlocking license for the authorization zone. If you aren't sure how to unlock authorization zones and transfer those unlocking licenses to your DJI drone, check out my video by clicking the link in the upper right corner of your screen. According to the mission description, flight time could take up to an hour, so I'll enter that here under mission execution. And finally, I'll just leave processing time at 0 since it's just a simple upload, even though in reality it'll probably take about 15 minutes. Okay, the last thing I need to plug in is the job's payout, which, as I mentioned, is $50. The tool then considers how much my direct expenses are, how much my maintenance cut should be, and shows that my net profit is only $14.03. And when it considers how much time it takes me to complete the job, travel, planning, execution, and delivery, it shows that I would be making less than $5 an hour on this job. Once you see it that way, which is the way it really is, it loses some of its original appeal. If no one accepts this job at the original rate, DroneBase will repost it in a day or two at a higher rate, which is exactly what they did for this job. It wound up coming up to $110, and at that point I took the job. Because as you see, when I plug that number in as a payout, I would make a much improved $74 net profit, and it would be at a respectable $24.68 an hour. I always hate to see pilots taking jobs for less than the value of the service they provide. because then the gig companies get the lion's share of the profit and we pilots end up getting less and less money for our work. Don't be a part of that drive to the bottom. Hone your skills, provide a quality service, and expect what you're worth. I'm going to make another video soon on how I price my own independent work instead of gig work, and I'm going to show you a tool that I use for that as well. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and take care.